Hi guys, welcome back to Garden a Little. I'm so glad that you're here and I want to welcome you to my little paradise. My husband built this garden for me 2 years ago now. This will be my second year gardening in here. I'm very excited. I'm actually sharing this place with my mother-in-law and she already got her plants in. So looking right at that bed, she's using that, looks like for tomatoes and some peppers. Over here I see some peppers and looks like cucumbers and melons over there, and maybe rhubarb over here. Now, I have not planted my garden yet. I have planted some things. Here in these two beds, I have planted onions, and as you can see, they're doing pretty well. These are the onions that I planted on camera and it's in my channel. Go check it out. Here are my brassicas that I planted. Again, you probably have seen this. They are doing very well. By very well, I mean they are not dying. So brassicas are actually notorious to be kind of fidgety to grow because they need just the right cool temperature to grow. Otherwise they will bolt. Bolting means going to flower, just like this bok choy. I have planted these flowers when the highs were in the 50s. Like, I planted them as early as it can get. The ground just unfroze and I planted these guys in the ground and I had just a few days in the 80s and look, they're just all flowering. Now, if you don't know, after this flowering process, yes, it's pretty. Yes, you can wait until you can harvest the seeds, but after this flowering process, the leaves and the actual vegetable tastes very bitter. It's just really gross. So you can keep it for seeds, you can keep it for the bees, looking pretty, but you're not gonna harvest it. So I might keep one for the bees and to harvest the seeds. Otherwise, I'm actually going to rip out the rest that are flowering. By removing this, I'm actually going to pinch the flowers of these plants and toss them to my chickens, and hopefully this will send the signal to increase the leaf growth rather than increase the stimulus to flower. The rest of my vegetables, fruits have not been planted yet, like my melons, my tomatoes, things like that. And that is because, again, school kind of took over. I'm constantly in clinic, seeing patients and things like that. However, I had to move out my whole collection of plants outside and they have been getting used to the outside. Right now you can see a lot of splashback and some burn spots because I don't have the time to carry my plants in and out. So right now I'm kind of letting the nature decide which guys can survive. Of course, this is number one reason why I start too many seeds is because of this. I kind of like that tough love and I fall back on that a lot just because I don't find the time to take care of my seedlings the way that they need to be taken care of. For example, last year I was able to carry my seedlings inside and out a lot more than this year. So this year I'm kind of letting the nature do its thing. When it's cloudy, these plants are resting, developing that cell membrane that is hardy. And when it's sunny, you know what I mean? They dry out, they experience the full effect of it, and I am not here to take care of them. So the ones that are surviving, I'm really glad to see that they are, because I really didn't give them any help at all. So here in these spots I got my tomatoes. Here I have my peppers, and peppers are actually doing quite well. As you can see, I gotta water these. Then I have my eggplants, and then I had planted some sparkle peppers and none of them came up, so I'm not sure what exactly is happening because every other pepper came up, even Hungarian black pepper. And then I have a whole bunch of pots that I am trying to sell or give away. So I have a whole bunch of brassicas and then a whole bunch of strawberries, and the strawberries are doing really good. As you can see, most of them are actually flowering, and each pot actually has about 2 to 3 plants each, and I'm really hopeful that these can find some good places where people can take care of them because they are desperate for some space. I am hoping to plant my garden by the end of this week, which means that I need to get started. I need to get going. So my actual plan is to plant tomatoes and peppers in this bed. If you remember last year, I planted a whole 2 beds of tomatoes, and that was just a lot. I kept giving away tomatoes to no end. And while that's great, it took up a lot of space in my fridge. And if I didn't find somebody to give things away to, they just went to chickens, which means that I spent all that time growing seedlings, watering plants. They soak up nutrients from the ground to give to my chickens, which is nothing wrong with that, but I would like that to be given to human consumption or making something delicious. So I am going to invest into preserving again and planting a little bit less. I'm hoping that this will be enough for tomatoes and peppers, this whole bed. This is 4 by 8 bed. And then in this bed, I want to plant eggplants and things like that, maybe some flowers as well. I have my snow peas and snap peas growing. They are starting to climb, but it is going to be hot for them real soon here. So I really love this trellis, and what we did is basically put 2 T-posts way down inside the beds here, and then put this cattle panel between the 2 T-posts from this side to that side, same thing on that edge, and then just zip tied it to this T-post. So it actually is really sturdy. We have high winds here and it never fell off. I actually also want to plant my cucamelons because that was a hit. I really enjoyed it, and I pulled them out way too early last year, so I want to give them the full entire year this time. On the other side of the trellis, I really want to plant some pole beans and some cucumbers. Cucumbers are one of my favorite vegetables. I absolutely love them. And so because I only have one side of the trellis for the cucumbers, I really have to choose the right ones. And I'm actually going to just direct plant them. That means that I'm just literally going to put the seed in the ground and watch it grow. And actually, I'm going to do the same thing with my cucamelons and my pole beans. Unfortunately, I can't spend as much time as I wanted to in the garden this year. And if you can see, I got a little bit of stuffiness going on. I'm not sure what is happening, what this year entails, but I am excited to see my garden grow because I know it's going to be a great year. Even though it's not starting out great, I know it's going to be a great gardening year. Thank you guys so much for walking around with me, joining me on this little garden tour. I really hope that you got to spend some time in the ground, and I wish you to go garden a little, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.